EA Sports, it's in the game.
What's up, all the Smoke family? Checking in on this lovely Easter Sunday. As you see, the Chiefs got a big win today. Just a few minutes ago, I'm sure a lot of you was watching the stream. But before I tap into my game and give a recap, I got a quick highlight that I want to show, and then we'll talk about the game. If you got any questions for this head coach, you let me know. But let me hit this quick preview. This highlight tape.
2nd and 9. To throw, it's Mahomes. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. That all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. I think it's fair. It's time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drop. They watch the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they keep it with Henry on first down. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Derrick Henry all alone. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now a play fake. Garoppolo. Oh, that's a double team that's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. There he goes left side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. They're going to go for this rather than settle for 3. They'll go for it. It's Garoppolo. And for the 3rd time here this half, it's intercepted. Down the numbers. There he goes. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. And how about that for just running out the clock? The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. So one play and they're already just shy of midfield. A first down carry for Henry.
With the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He's going to float this one deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown.
Receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Going deep for Hopkins. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. So another touchdown, 11 at the 41. Henry out of the pistol. And he's got some space here. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Derrick Henry with his 2nd touchdown.
They are not letting up.
There's a handoff to Jacobs. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. Under the lights on prime time, this offense that gave the nation a good show, putting up that many points to go with. It's certainly been a memorable win for them.
Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams, they get met on the big stage. When they get a chance to play this type of atmosphere, all eyes are on them and all the lights are shining brightly. They show up and they show out.
So for the Chiefs, they move back over 503-2 now on the year. And
Yes, sir. That was the quick highlight reel. You see, it was a pretty good day in the office on Easter. The Chiefs got a 51-13 win and improves to 3-2 to keep pace with those San Diego Chargers. The LA Superchargers. I called y'all boys San Diego. My bad. Same thing, same city. But they are keeping pace, and they got a big game against the Mighty Morphin Buffalo Bills next week at home. We got to be ready for that game because we already know how Tyreek Johnson and company coming. But we will be getting ready for that one next week. This is not a primetime game. It's going to be a 4:15 start. But well-needed win. Always key to get your wins in your division. No win is any less than the next. So was probably the best day we've had since I've taken over this Chiefs team. Still trying to work these things out as we get started. But let me go down to the box score and run over some questions. Anybody that's tuned in, if you got any questions for me about my Chiefs, let me know. This is your time to get all your questions off. But just to look at the stat line, the offensive yardage, the Chiefs put up 445 of total offense, 240 on the ground, 205 passing for Patrick Mahomes. Both had the same amount of first downs. The kick return yardage was more leaning towards the Chiefs because I'm trying to think. I don't think they had any returns, if I'm not mistaken. But total of 535 yards at the office. As you see the Chiefs defense, I'm going to let it go down to the bottom of the screen. Get down to the turnovers before I get to talking about it. I see y'all comments. Basically, I'm not going to call anyone any particular name. I'm going to leave it up to y'all. 5 turnovers that was committed by the Raiders today. A couple of them was touchdowns. Only one by the Chiefs. It was a fumble by Tavon Austin that ended up turning into a field goal for the Raiders. That ended up being their last points of the game. But that was kind of early. That was actually the opening kickoff of the third quarter. But as you see, third down conversions, the Chiefs had one more than the Raiders. The Chiefs didn't really get a chance to get on the field much until later in the game. The first half was pretty dominant by the Raiders on the ground. But let me get down to the percentages before I continue talking about it. As crazy as it sounds, the Chiefs had 0 red zone opportunities in that game. The 2 times that we were in the red zone, we got stopped on the 4th and 1. We tried to go for it. And the other one was the end of the game. I didn't want to score again. Had one penalty in the game. Basically, I cannot remember what the penalty was, but it was a penalty. Anyways, overall, the time of possession was actually won by the Raiders in this game. As I said, they had the ball a lot in that second quarter, and the Chiefs just kept making play after play to make sure that they stayed afloat in the game. But let's hit the player stats. And I see all your comments, guys. Y'all boys are hilarious. Again, just glad to get a dub in this case. Patrick Mahomes had a perfect passing rating for the second time this season. Had 205 passing yards with 3 touchdowns, along with 49 for the day. I think he had 2 incompletions. Let me scroll over before I continue. Let it catch up on the screen. It takes a little bit of the delay since I'm using the YouTube. Okay, so 91% passer rating for Patrick Mahomes on the day, 11 to 12 passing. He didn't get a chance to throw the ball around a lot because he did play with a lead, and Derrick Henry was Derrick Henry. So we'll get a chance to show those stats in the game. And I'm going to go back, and before I get into Jimmy Garoppolo, I want to go ahead and get it back to their names. Jimmy Garoppolo had a passer rating of 19.6, 40 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and 5 interceptions on the day. Not really sure why he AR'd Jimmy Garoppolo to begin with, but hey, that's not my team. That's his team. That's how he built his team. All I'm going to say is just that's not the right move. I wouldn't have made that move. That's just me. But carrying along, let's go to the rushing total. Let it catch up on the screen before I get started. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, let me know. Derrick Henry had 15 carries for 210 and 2 touchdowns. He had a big day at the office today. Josh Jacobs, as quiet as it was kept, he had 31 carries for 200 yards. He definitely ran the ball well throughout the game. But like I said, the key turnovers in the game actually hurt those guys. Nathan Cottrell had 7 for 21. And Dalton, I think it's cannot remember that boy first name, but it's Dante Hilliard had a carry for 9 yards. So the two dominant running backs of this game had their weight on both sides of the ball. Let's go to the receiving total. We'll let it catch up on the screen real quick. Receiving totals. Nathan Cottrell, my third string running back, had a big day. 4 for $101 and 2 touchdowns. D-Hop had his first touchdown as a Chief, 1 for 43 and a touchdown. Breven Jordan had a catch for 19 yards. Devin Allen had 3 for 30. The Raiders really didn't throw the ball well at all the entire game. Their leading receiver was O.J. Howard, and then Hunter Renfrow had a 13-yard reception. But other than that, not a lot of passing yards for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's move over to the defense. I don't know if the stat line was crazy in that game either. Okay, Justin Reed led the tackles with 11, and Deron Harmon, he's played for the Falcons a while back. He had 10 tackles. As you see, Justin Reed had 2 interceptions. Unfortunately, we will be parting ways with Justin Reed. He is in a trade to the Seattle Seahawks. So, Finley, I set him up well for you, so you better take care of my boy. But the interception totals of the day was 2 for Justin Reed. He had a touchdown. Chris Restry had a touchdown. Brandon Eccles opened the game with a pick, and then Ladarius Sneed had an interception as well. So the Chiefs had a pretty good day at the office. I got to give them their credit. So again, we moved to 3-2 on the year. We got a big game at home next week against the Buffalo Bills. So gonna be a fun one. Tyreek's always been a very tough matchup for B, and then of course he's coming in with Nick Chubb, Terry McLaurin, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen. So that offensive firepower over there is going to be a fun test for my defensive unit. But again, that is a quick recap. I see nobody had any questions for me, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But in about an hour, like I said, it's going to be a draft show that myself and Mike is going to be on with one of our good friends. So if you want to tune in for that, that's another +2 opportunity for the day. Hold on, let's see. I had a comment come in just right before I'm about to get off. Let's see. I had a comment from Facebook user. I'm so sorry because if you don't add your name, then I can't see your picture. I'm so sorry. But the question is, after the first game, we heard that Mahomes worked with a quarterback coach on his release. Can you speak about that? He absolutely did. I went to a couple of solid coaches around the league. They definitely gave me some solid advice. And shout out to those coaches for helping me get the Patrick Mahomes situation straight, because week 1 was rough for Patrick Mahomes. He threw several interceptions because, honestly, I'm not a big fan of his passing motion. So we had to get that together. And since that has changed, we have not lost a game that we have actually played, because the second loss that we had was a forced win given up. So the games that we have actually played, we are 3-1 since changing his motion, and I am just thankful that we had that suggestion. So once again, we appreciate that. But that's a great question for the Mahomes passing situation, because Mahomes has actually thrown the ball very well since he got his quarterback release change. And it doesn't take away from him being a quarterback, but at the end of the day, he definitely needed that change because he wouldn't have fit my offense. He probably been traded by now. But shout out to the guy. We're looking to move forward with him as our long-term quarterback of the future. We got to continue to put this team together. So that's a great question. And I'm going to check and see if I have any more questions before I get off of here. I see a comment from YouTube. Mike, what's going on, bro? The Texans coach, he absolutely said that the Chiefs is tough, man. We're just trying to get our dubs here and there. We're trying to keep up because, again, as I said from the start, the AFC is a tough conference. I'm not taking anything away from anybody in the conference. I know I have to keep up winning-wise, or this is going to be a long season because nobody with a halfway decent record is going to make the playoffs. So, again, just happy to get each win I can get at this point. I'll see Coach Darrell Mason actually is the head commissioner checking in. The other HC checked in. That was the Mahomes question was by our other HC, KD Bailey. Shout out to him. Darrell Mason said, what do you think we need to improve on as a team as far as weak spots you've seen in the last few games? I would say going down the stretch, well, we did give up a lot of yards on the ground today to Josh Jacobs, but he actually force-fed them. But I would say my two things that I really want to see this team improve on is probably at wide receiver and corner. Although they had a dominant day today, I do want more weapons that are on the ground, that are able to match up, because we're going to see better receivers down the road. I don't feel that Raider team fit that user. I think we're going to see better teams down the road. So we really want to address our secondary. Maybe that could be a post-draft thing that we could look into. And at wide receiver, we have DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, outside of that, we have Breven Allen, who's just 95 speed. And if you are a person that plays the PS5 like we all do, that speed can only matter but so much. You have to actually build the guy, and that's going to be a process building him. So that's another thing with that. And as far as secondary, we do have Ladarius Sneed, but the problem is outside of Ladarius Sneed, we have William Jackson. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but of course, you always want to have a stout secondary. That's one thing that I'm big on building when I build a team. So that's going to be something to look into. I probably won't get a trade off for a corner before this season ends, but that could be a potential opportunity to address this offseason. A great question for me right there. I think that's going to be something that I'll be looking into down the road. And it's going to be some good games coming up to see how we match up. But again, I'm glad that we are at 3-2 at this point of the year, and just got to keep it up, because it's going to be tougher games down the road and don't want to get too far behind in the division. But if I don't see any more questions pop up, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this show up. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I try to keep us up to date week after week. And trust me when I tell you, I will not just come on after wins. I will definitely come on after a loss. I came on after a loss the first week of the season against the Cardinals, who is currently 5-0. So again, that was a good win for the Chiefs. Look forward to next week against the Buffalo Bills. And until next time, this is Coach Nate signing off from the Kansas City organization. Y'all have a great Easter.
EA Sports, within the game.